You read the boxer in the 19th century.
Boxer in the 19th century uses their bare fists. In modern boxing, fighters wear padded gloves. How do gloves protect the brain of the boxer from injury? Also, why do boxers often roll with the punch?
Okay, the situation is like that. If you look at this picture here, actually the brain is inside the skull, and it is actually floating inside the skull. It is the inside the brain there will be some fluid, and this fluid is actually surrounding the gray matter there. So whenever you move the head, right, when you move the head suddenly like that, or maybe the skull is being knocked by something hard, it will not damage the brain because there's a layer of water there to cushion the, not water lah, they call it fluid, some sort of fluid, okay, to cushion the knocking. But it will not injure the brain if there's a slight knock like that only, right? A small knock. But if it is punches, okay, if you're being punched by by the fist, it is a different thing, huh? It will definitely damage the brain, right? So in order to prevent damage to the brain, even though there is this cushion fluid inside, in order to reduce the damage to the brain, the boxers in that one is 19th century, right? Maybe 20th century, 21st century, you see them wearing the glove, the padded glove. Now, why they need to wear the padded glove? The padded glove is to reduce the impulsive force on the head. Right? What is the impulsive force then? We look at this formula here. The impulsive force is actually the impulse divided by the time. So the force at which the person receive the force. Now this force can be reduced. How to reduce this force? Of course, they say, oh, you use the pad somewhere here, right? You use the padded gloves, right? Now, why is it that the second part here, a glove result in a longer time interval than a bare fist? Now, what does this mean? It means that the head is here. Now, when you receive the punch without the glove, the punch land faster, will land faster, shorter time. Now, if you look at the formula here, if the time is short, you divide by a smaller number, then the force will be very big. Now, on the other hand, if you put a glove and a pad there, so the time will be lengthened when you land the punch on the head, right? From the time of contact until they stop, right? From the time they touch the skull until they stop, that time will be lengthened because because of the glove, and the glove is padded, it will slow down the landing punch. Now when you slow down the landing punch, you are actually increasing the time factor here. When the time is increased at the bottom here, you are actually dividing by a bigger number. So when you divide by a bigger number, the force will be smaller, the result will be smaller. Okay, so that is the reason why they wear the glove. That is to lengthen the time of the landing punch. When the punch land on the face, the time taken will be longer. So when the time taken is longer, the force will be smaller. It's just like the gymnast, You know those gymnasts, they do the somersault,
Yep.
then on the beam, or on the ring, when they're on the ring or on the beam, when they try to land on the floor there will be a piece of mat, a very thick mat like that. Now, why they need to put the mat for them to land on the floor? The reason is because they want to lengthen the landing time. When the landing time is long, the impulsive force becomes smaller. Without the mattress, the landing time will be shorter. When the landing time is shorter, the impulsive force will be bigger. Will be bigger. Now, the second way to reduce the impulsive force on the skull, this needs an experienced boxer. So this experienced boxer will be rolling his head away. So the word is rolling with the punch. Rolling
Okay.
with the punch means when somebody punch this boxer, he will try to move his head away from the punch. So as a result, the time taken for the punch to land on his face will be longer. Now, let's say like that. And you punch him, then he move together with the fist. So this will increase or lengthen the landing time. So when the landing time is longer, you are actually dividing by a bigger number. Divide by a bigger number means the force will be smaller, right? It will be a smaller. So whatever they do, whether uh, they use a padded glove or whether the boxer roll his head away from the punch, there is only one principle behind. The principle is to lengthen the time. So when you lengthen the time, you will have a smaller impulsive force. So whether you are wearing the padded glove or the using the rolling away from the punch or rolling with the punch, then the reason is actually to increase the time. When you increase the time, you are actually decreasing the impulsive force. When you increase the time, you are actually decreasing the impulsive force. It comes from this formula here. Increase the time, increase the bottom number. Divide by a bigger number, the force will be smaller. Any questions so far?
Huh? No
No
questions.
question. No question, then we stop here.